Hey everybody, what's good? We're going to take a look at yet another Steven Silver art talk. He just must have done a video dump today because he's got a bunch of these. But Steven Silver, he is a character designer down in LA. He's been in the animation industry for a good long while. So we're going to take a look at this video. It's called Don't Get Scammed. I needed this many times over. Don't Get Scammed by Steven Silver. While we watch this video, I'm going to be working on this kid's book. Before we get into it, remember to go to coconutjustice.com and get some clothes that I think would look good on you. Let's get into it. Don't Get Scammed by Steven Silver. Let's see. Yeah, if you want to learn how
welcome to another.
If you want to learn how to draw cartoon characters and stuff, go to his school, his classes. They're online. Dude's a badass. He has a bunch of books out too. I think I have most, if not all of them. But yeah, Steven Silver is the truth.
So today what I want to talk about is not getting scammed. Don't be part of the scam. What is the scam? What is happening out there? Well, you know, if anyone sends you an email and you get that email and it says, if you pay us something, then we'll give you something in return. The promises of making you rich, or the promises of putting money in your account, or doing something where it's clearly a scam. Anyone who wants money from you, before you're going to necessarily absolutely see what you're going to get, because then you're being scammed. Most people, they pay money and then it's like, well, where's the thing that you promised me? I don't see anything. I don't have anything. I got access to nothing. You've given me nothing. All right. This is what happens with artists. They get scammed all the time. So what's the great scam? The great scam is that they're going to reach out to you. They're going to contact you. Could be through LinkedIn, could be through Instagram, could be someplace else. And they're going to tell you how amazing and marvelous they think you are and how talented you are and how they have this project that they're working on, which is going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest thing.
You might be talented. You might be all those things. I get emails like that. You know, now that we're growing a little bit on YouTube, I get spam emails like that. Like, ooh, we love your channel. And then, you know, they want to do brand deals and stuff like that. And it ends up being not. Or, you know, back when I was trying to do more character design stuff, what I did was I was on Instagram and wherever else and just saying, hey, I'll draw a picture of you for, you know, $50, something that's not too crazy. And I can't tell you how many times people are like, oh yeah, cool. And then I do it. And then they're like, oh no, this sucks. And then, but that was on me. Right. So I now have learned, not to share artwork. Like the completely on me. I basically scam myself. So if you're doing artwork, especially online for people, have them pay. Like $50 is nothing. They can give you $50 and then you work on the artwork. They're gonna be, I had one client once, he just kept trying to make different changes and come to find out he was trying to get, I forget what it was, like he's trying to have like more, obviously he's trying to get more than just one drawing and it's only $50. Like you get a drawing for $50 and then you call it, like that's it. You have to, sometimes you have to be that curt or that cut and dry. I already did the thing. Here's your artwork, you know, but as artists, we have a tendency to be a little more like we like to stay away from drama. And so we sit and we take it and we don't need to. Scammers are scammers and they can kick rocks. Like don't deliver on anything that no one, that someone hasn't given you money for. They will disappear on you.
And you can be a part of it. And if it does go huge and it goes somewhere, you're going to get to be a part of that. So please, would you do this? And then the eager artist says, yes, this sounds exciting. This is my opportunity. This is my chance. And I'm going to do this. And then the person asks them, gives them the brief and tells them what they need. And they're just going to lead them on. And then they're going to do the artwork, and they're going to get the artwork out. And they can say, is there any way you can get me the artwork by this coming whatever date? And then the artist is going to put together that artwork, and they're going to send it out. And that artist is going to sit there and they're going to wait, and they're going to be like, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be turned into something. And one day goes by and they don't hear anything back. 2 days go by, they don't hear anything back. Let me reach out to the person. Let me make sure they got my email. I better check and just resend it just to make sure that they got it. And you still never hear back. What has just happened? You have just been ghosted. Scammed. You have just been scammed, because this is what a lot of people will do.
Yeah.
All right. When you're working for the biggest.
I laugh to keep from crying. This has happened so many times because you try to be a good person, and you're hoping that the people that you deal with are good people too. I was in a situation once. It wasn't even a private party. It was like a legit corporation. The creative director and the art director never saw eye to eye, and the dynamic between their relationship kind of spilled into they contracted me to do a 3D animation thing, and their dynamic got in the way of me and my timeline. And then it was weird because they, even though they didn't see eye to eye, they always came to me and yelled at me for not holding up my part of the bargain. But yet I was getting two different bits of information from both of them. And that's another one. You have to be very careful with feature creeps, which is like they ask you for a thing, but then they continue, right? So the feature creep example is I was working on a website for a guy, and a design element was this. It was a basic 3D house that looked like the house that he wanted to build or that he was building. But then he kept like asking me to do things to this 3D model, like adding more and more detail, which if you have a website, you don't need a very detailed image of a house. You just need something that looks like it. But long story short, he wanted to pay for the website, and then he wanted me to give him all of these renders of this more defined house. I think artists have to do way better at business and understanding business and what is acceptable and not acceptable. I've pitched a media creation group to someone in Chicago, and a very big part of my pitch was we need to get kids into the local businesses so they get exposure to business and how to do business and how to set up business and how to sell and customer service and all that stuff, because we can't have creative people out in the streets not really knowing what they're doing and being taken advantage of. You know what I mean? Like, again, you will never see a plumber that is going to unplug your pipes without paying. Doctors, lawyers, like all these other people, executives. See if you can get a CEO to help you run your business for free just to see how it would work out. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So we, as the art community, the people who are actually doing the work, we have to be a little more clear with our value, and we have to expect payment for everything that we bring to the table.
In the bigger companies or anything that has real notoriety, you don't necessarily have as much to worry about. Not to say it can't happen, but yeah, kind of the chances are a lot slimmer, because for them, getting all the bad press is not worth it. So they don't want to go down that route. So what do you have to do in order to make sure that you don't get scammed? You want to be able to hear what the people have to say, read their email, start a dialogue with them, make sure that you have everything in writing, exactly what it is that they want you to do. You want to negotiate a price and set.
Yep, get everything in writing. dare I say, one of the benefits of having someone like Trump running for office is people like that have taught us not to leave things unwritten. Apparently, he's been trampling all over norms and all these unspoken rules and stuff like that when dealing in Washington, right? A good thing that has come out of that situation is we now know we have to zip everything up, button everything up. We have to make sure that all the P's and Q's have been addressed. You know what I mean? Get it in writing. Don't do anything extra unless it's a continuing client. You know, if it's a really good client and you want to do something special for them, that's fine, you know. But for the most part, write it in writing. This is what I'm going to do for you. This is exactly what I'm going to do for you. There's not going to be any more, any less. You know, I've had situations where I had to have a conversation with a company because they wanted me to do an illustration for them, but then they wanted me to also design a main character for this project. But that's two different things. You have to go through the process of designing characters, and then you can go through the process of actually laying out an illustration or anything like that, right? Those are two different things. And I know that they're very, very similar. Like you can't finish this one full page illustration without the character design done. But what you do is you incorporate that all together. And in your proposal, you say, I'm going to do character design. And then the next thing is going to be, the full page illustration, whatever it is that you're working on, right? And then you bill, like what he's about to say, you bill accordingly. And we need to not be afraid to ask everyone else how much money they're getting paid. Because one, you don't want to give a number that's too low because one, you're going to be missing out on money that could be yours. And two, what you'll end up doing is if you come in too low, then you're going to mess it up for everyone else. Like the market says that I get paid however many hundreds of dollars an hour. You don't want to come in at 25 and ruin it for everyone else who's making pretty good money, you know? So let's finish this one up.
Price, and then you want to ask them if they have a contract they would like to send you, or you can send them a contract, a sample contract. You can find them or anywhere. All right. So this is something you can do your due diligence and research it and do what you need to do. But the most important thing, as long as it's in writing, that it's going to be this, and I'm going to do that, and this is the expectation, and this is how much you're going to pay. All right. But it doesn't end there. So what you need to do, especially if you've never worked with these people, is just simply let them know I require a third deposit or 50% deposit, whatever you're comfortable with, up front before I send you artwork. And I do this with all new clients.
Because what you're trying to do,
if you work with the client before,
100%. So what you're trying to do is you ask for 50% just to get started. And the reason why you want to do that is you want to make sure that these people are invested in the project too. There's going to be plenty of times where you're working on something or someone is going to ask you to do something and they're not going to want to give you the 50% up front. I say turn away from that project unless it's something crazy big. And even if it's for someone that everyone knows, I don't think it's worth it because they could just leave. They could just not be interested in the project anymore. And then you have just wasted your time on a project that they just reneged on, and it's not going to be of any benefit to you. So give 50% up front, and then usually what I do is 50, 25, 25, right? So 50% up front, and then we get going on the project, and then when we're getting close, depending on what type of project it is, when we're getting close, it's another 25%, and then before I give you any files, before I publish your website, you have to give me the rest, the other 25%. And then at the end of the project, everyone is square. And then It just works better that way because everyone is invested in the actual project. And you know that they're not going to be full of shit because they gave you 50% up front. It keeps everyone on the same page and it keeps everyone honest in the situation. Don't do work for free. Stop doing that.
Front before I send you artwork, and I do this with all new clients.
Yeah.
All right. If you've worked with the client before and you know that they're good, well, then you know that they're good. But
Right.
a lot of the times you're working with brand new people who are trying to get something from you. They're trying to start something, but they're never really upfront, even with the price and the cost. They're just
And if
trying to
their
leave that to the
project is
last
that
part. And of
good
course,
and
they're
everyone's
going to
gonna
try
love
to give
it
you
that
as
much,
least amount of
then
money as possible. And that's where
put
your
up money.
courage has to come in. And you want to know your rates. You want to know what you're comfortable charging, what your hourly rate is, what your day rate is, what your weekly rate is. And you know that you got to make a living. You know that I can't just be working 20 hours and just charging, $100 for the job, right? Because now
Right.
you get nothing at the end. So just know what it feels worth to you. I always think a good amount, just a first starter for someone beginning, $35 an hour. If you're just like, well, I don't have that professional experience yet and I'm just beginning, then you're $35 an hour, okay? Of course, you're living in different parts of the world, different parts where it's all the cost of living is going to be different. So that $35 an hour in American dollars is going to be a lot different than the $35 an hour for someplace in India or the Philippines or anywhere else. So just keep that in mind. Just think about what can I buy. So for $35 out here, I mean, I can't even fill up a whole gas tank now, to be honest with you. Gas is so expensive. But I could fill up maybe half of a tank of gas. I know with $35, I could go to a movie. If I go into a theater,
lunch.
I know that I could buy some food.
Lunch.
I could buy dinner
Or-
for that night. I could go to a restaurant.
Or you could
for
take it and
$35.
light it on fire. It don't
That'll take
matter.
care of
It's
me.
your
So you got to
$35.
think about that in for you. Like, was it worth it for you? For that job that you took, all right? So the bottom line is don't get scammed. Don't get scammed.
100%.
Don't make sure people have things in writing. Make sure you get something up front before you give them anything, okay? It's important. Otherwise, that's where you'll start to see that you're going to get scammed over and over again, and you'll wonder, what am I doing wrong? What's happening? That's
And a
what
lot of
happens.
these
There's
scammers
no
are these
currency.
business
There's no
people that we
exchange.
keep
And when there's
talking
no
about.
exchange, well, then where's the deal? Because that's what money is. It's an exchange. It's a handshake. It's a commitment that I'm giving you this in order for me to get that. And we want to be happy and content with that. All right? So that's it. Make it a great week, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care.
Steven Silver dropping knowledge bombs. You have to take a look at all these businesses. Look at everything from when people come to install internet or a cable in your house. They have everything is written out. This is what we're going to do. This is how much it's going to be. This is how long it's going to take. Same thing. This should be the same approach for you. You are a creative person. You're bringing a lot of intelligence. You're bringing a lot of creativity. You're bringing a lot of experience to any given project. That value, you have to put money on it. Business people know it. They just talk to creative people like we're dumb because they think that they're going to get one over on us. But that's why we're talking about these things on this channel and over on Steven's channel. I'll leave a link in the description to his channel so you can check him out. We have to communicate more so we can get the creative industry to get the respect that we deserve, because we're under attack. They've been always trying to find cheaper, faster ways to do what we do. And now introducing AI, you thought COVID was a challenge. This AI thing is going to be legitimately scary, and it's going to be taking jobs. It's the competition. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with each and every one of your friends. And if you want to come hang out with me and watch videos while I work on creative projects, hit that subscribe button and click that little bell right next to the subscribe button. So every time I come out with a new video, you'll be alerted. Don't forget to go to coconutjustice.com and get some gear that I think is going to look fantastic on you. And with that, I'm out.